Please, Deputy, my son in there. No, no.
Rules are rules, no exceptions.
But he's just a child. Please.
Save your breath.
Why are you doing this? Please, my son is in there alone. I need my car.
This vehicle is evidence. Back away now.
He's just a child. I have to get to him.
Not my problem.
This is wrong.
The tow truck's metal hook had already locked onto the old silver Honda. Rain dripped from the hospital entrance. People stopped walking. Some pulled out their phones. Others simply stared. Monica Reynolds stood frozen beside the curb, tears filling her eyes. "Please," she begged. "My daughter is upstairs. She's having trouble breathing. I only left the car for 10 minutes." Deputy Scott Mercer didn't even look at her. He adjusted his sunglasses and smirked. "Not me problem." The black single mother swallowed hard. "She's 9 years old." Mercer laughed. "Maybe you should have thought about that before parking like everyone else doesn't matter." A few people shook their heads. Monica stepped toward the tow truck. "Please don't do this." Mercer grabbed her arm. "Step back. I just need my car. Please. You're interfering with police business." Before anyone could react, he twisted her arms behind her back. Click. The handcuffs locked around her wrists. Gasps spread through the crowd. "No!" Monica cried. "My daughter is inside!" Mercer leaned closer. "People like you always have an excuse." A nurse near the entrance froze in horror. Several witnesses began recording. The tow truck driver stopped moving. Even he looked uncomfortable. Then suddenly, 2 black SUVs pulled into the emergency entrance. 4 people stepped out. 2 wore dark suits. Badges flashed. One of them looked directly at the woman in handcuffs. His eyes widened. He hurried forward. "Miss Monica Reynolds?" Everything became silent. Deputy Mercer frowned. The second agent stepped beside him, and the next words made the color drain from Mercer's face. "We've been looking for you everywhere." Before anyone understood what was happening, Agent Daniel Foster reached for his badge, and Deputy Scott Mercer suddenly realized something was terribly wrong. Before we continue, don't miss what happens next. Stories like this remind us that the truth often arrives when hope seems lost. Let us know where you're watching from and what your local time is. And if you enjoy stories about dignity, justice, and unexpected twists, consider subscribing so you won't miss the next chapter. 3 hours before Deputy Scott Mercer placed handcuffs around her wrists, Monica Reynolds had been sitting at her kitchen table trying to help her daughter finish a science project. Their apartment on the east side of Charlotte wasn't much. 2 bedrooms, old furniture, second-hand curtains, a refrigerator that sometimes made strange noises during the night. But Monica had always done everything possible to make it feel like home. Pictures covered the walls, school drawings, birthday cards, a framed photograph of Ava smiling beside a sunflower garden. And despite the bills that kept piling up, Monica never complained. Not in front of her daughter. 9-year-old Ava Reynolds sat at the table coloring tiny planets around a cardboard rocket. "Mom, do you think Saturn really has rings?" she asked. Monica smiled. "Maybe one day you'll become a scientist and tell me all about them." Ava giggled. "No, I want to be a doctor." Monica reached over and touched her daughter's cheek. "You'd make a wonderful doctor." The little girl smiled proudly. Monica worked long hours organizing records and assisting families at a child care center downtown. The pay wasn't great, but it was honest work. And after her husband died in a construction accident 6 years earlier, Monica had promised herself one thing: Ava would never grow up feeling abandoned. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every extra shift, it was all for her daughter. That evening, rain clouds gathered over Charlotte. Monica had just finished washing dishes when she heard coughing from Ava's room. At first, she thought it was just another allergy attack. But within minutes, the cough became worse. Much worse. Ava struggled to breathe. Her small chest rose rapidly. "Mum!" Monica immediately ran toward her. "Ava?" The girl's face had become pale. She grabbed her inhaler from the bedside drawer. Empty. Monica's heart nearly stopped. "No, no, no." Ava gasped for air. Fear filled her eyes. "Mom, I can't breathe." Monica grabbed her phone and keys. Everything happened in seconds. She wrapped a blanket around her daughter and rushed outside. Rain had started falling heavily. The old silver Honda started on the second try. "Come on, baby," Monica whispered to the car. She sped toward Charlotte Memorial Hospital while trying to keep her voice calm. "It's okay, sweetheart. Mommy's here. We are almost there." Ava leaned weakly against the seat. Monica's hands trembled as she drove. Every red light felt like torture. Every second felt too long. By the time she reached the emergency entrance, panic had completely taken over. Doctors rushed out with a wheelchair. Nurses quickly took Ava inside. Monica followed until a nurse stopped her. "We need to stabilize her first." Monica stood frozen. Is she going to be okay? "We are doing everything we can." That answer only made her more afraid. Then she realized she had parked in a loading zone. She knew she should move the car, but she couldn't leave, not while her daughter was fighting to breathe. She sat in the waiting room, praying, crying quietly, watching the clock. 30 minutes passed. Then 40. Finally, she walked outside to grab her purse from the car. But someone was already standing beside it. Deputy Scott Mercer. Tall, broad shoulders, dark sunglasses despite the cloudy weather. He was writing something on his notepad. Monica approached carefully. "I'm sorry, officer. My daughter was rushed into emergency. I know I parked wrong." Mercer barely looked at her. "You know this is a restricted area?" "Yes, sir. So you knew." His tone immediately felt cold. Monica nodded. "She's 9 years old. She's having an asthma attack." "I wasn't thinking." Mercer finished writing. "Funny. Everyone suddenly has an emergency when they get caught." Monica blinked. "No, sir. I'm telling the truth." Mercer looked toward the hospital. "You people always say that." The words struck her harder than she expected. Monica remained calm. "Please, I'll move the car right now." Mercer handed her the citation. $300. Her eyes widened. "300? Sir, I can pay it later. I just need to check on my daughter." Mercer smirked. "Maybe you should have thought about that before acting like the rules don't apply." Monica looked down. She knew arguing would only make things worse. She reached for her purse. "Okay, I understand." But before she could unlock the car, another radio call came through Mercer's shoulder microphone. He listened for a moment. Then his expression hardened. He turned back toward Monica. "No insurance update?" Monica frowned. "What?" "The system says your insurance information wasn't updated." "No, that's impossible. I renewed it last month." Mercer shrugged. "Not my problem." Monica quickly pulled out papers from her purse. "Look, here's the new card." But he didn't even glance at it. Instead, he folded his arms. "The computer doesn't lie. Sir, please. My daughter is upstairs. Can we do this later?" Mercer smiled sarcastically. "No, we can do it now." Rain continued falling around them. People entered and exited the hospital. Most ignored what was happening. But an older man sitting nearby slowly shook his head. He had heard enough. Monica's voice trembled. "I just need 10 minutes. Please. My little girl is alone." Mercer looked at the old Honda. Rust around the bumper. Cracks on one headlight. Faded paint. Everything about the car screamed hardship. And somehow, that seemed to annoy him. He took out his radio. Monica's eyes widened. "What are you doing?" Mercer didn't answer. He pressed the button. "Dispatch. Send a tow truck. Monica froze." "No. Please don't do that. Please." Mercer looked directly into her eyes. "You should have thought about that before wasting my time." As the sound of rain echoed through the hospital entrance, Monica felt something inside her collapse. And far away, a tow truck had already started its engine. Monica Reynolds stared at Deputy Scott Mercer in disbelief. The rain continued pouring. Water dripped from her hair, but she barely noticed. All she could think about was Ava. Her little girl was upstairs, alone, scared, struggling to breathe. And now a tow truck was coming. "Please," she whispered. "My daughter is in emergency." Mercer didn't react. He clipped his radio back onto his shoulder and casually looked around the parking area. "Not my problem." Monica swallowed hard. Sir, I'll move the car right now. No need. The tow truck is already on the way. Panic spread through her chest. No, you don't understand. She's only 9. Mercer smirked. They're always somebody's kid. He turned away. Monica felt tears filling her eyes. She had spent 6 years trying to hold her life together after losing her husband. She worked overtime, skipped meals, sold jewelry, took extra shifts, everything to give Ava a safe life. And now, while her daughter lay in a hospital bed, this man was treating her like trash. A woman exiting the hospital slowed down. She had heard enough. Officer, can't you see she's upset? Mercer immediately turned. Mind your own business, ma'am. The woman frowned. Her child is inside. She parked wrong, not robbed a bank. Mercer's expression darkened. Keep walking. The woman shook her head and left. Monica wiped her eyes. I'll pay the ticket. I'll pay anything. Please don't take my car. Mercer laughed quietly. Funny. People like you always find money when consequences show up. The words froze her. People like you. Monica knew exactly what he meant. She had heard it before. Too many times. She looked at him. I'm just asking for 10 minutes. Mercer stepped closer. And I'm saying no. The sound of a diesel engine suddenly approached. Monica turned. Her heart dropped. The tow truck. The driver slowed beside them. A middle-aged Hispanic man stepped out. His name tag read, Larry Hernandez. Larry looked at Monica, then at the hospital entrance, then back at Mercer. You called for a tow? Mercer nodded. Hook it up. Larry hesitated. What's the violation? Expired insurance and illegal parking. Larry looked uncomfortable. Sir, she's at the emergency entrance. Mercer folded his arms. You work for me or not? Larry sighed. No, sir. I work for the county. Then do your job. Monica hurried toward Larry. Please, my daughter is upstairs. Please don't do this. Larry lowered his voice. I'm sorry, ma'am. If I refuse, I lose my contract. Monica closed her eyes. She understood. Everyone was afraid of somebody. Larry slowly began attaching the metal hook beneath the old Honda. The sound felt like a knife cutting through her heart. At that moment, her phone rang. Charlotte Memorial Hospital. Chessines. She immediately answered. Hello? Miss Reynolds? This is Nurse Emily. Monica straightened. How's Ava? She's stable right now. But Dr. Singh wants to discuss her oxygen levels. Relief washed over Monica. Thank God. I'll be right there. She turned toward Mercer. Please. Just 5 minutes. I need to speak with the doctor. Mercer didn't even look at her. Not until we're finished. Monica stared at him. You can't be serious. I said 5 minutes. He shrugged. And I said no. The tow truck slowly lifted the front tires off the ground. Monica gasped. No. Without thinking, she ran toward her car. Stop. Larry froze. But Mercer grabbed her arm. Step back. That's my car. My daughter needs me. Mercer tightened his grip. Back away. Monica tried to pull free. You're hurting me. Several people nearby stopped walking. 2 nurses stood under the entrance canopy. A young couple pulled out their phones. Larry looked uneasy. Deputy, maybe we should... I didn't ask for your opinion. Monica pointed toward the hospital. My child is inside. Mercer's face twisted. And the world doesn't revolve around you. Then he said the words that made everyone around them fall silent. People like you always have excuses. Monica froze. Even Larry looked shocked. What did you just say? Asked an older man sitting near the benches. Mercer ignored him. Monica felt humiliation burning inside her. But she still refused to yell. She simply said softly, I'm begging you. My daughter needs me. Mercer shook his head. No. Monica took a step toward the hospital. I'm going inside. Suddenly, Mercer shoved her backward. Not hard enough to seriously injure her, but enough. Monica slipped on the wet pavement and fell. Gasps echoed around the entrance. Her purse scattered. Papers flew into puddles. Pictures spilled out. One photograph landed face up. Ava, smiling in front of a birthday cake. Monica winced in pain. Her knees burned. And for the first time all night, anger flashed across Larry Hernandez's face. Deputy, that wasn't necessary. Mercer glared at him. You want your contract canceled? Larry became quiet, but several witnesses had already begun recording. A teenage boy held up his phone. A nurse whispered, "Oh my God." An elderly woman rushed over. "Sweetheart, are you all right?" Monica nodded weakly, tears mixed with rain. Not because she had fallen, not because she was embarrassed, but because she felt helpless, completely helpless. Mercer looked down at her. "Stay on the ground if you know what's good for you." He turned back toward the tow truck. "Finish it." But he didn't notice the young man standing beneath the emergency sign. 20 years old, black hoodie, phone raised, camera recording, and unlike everyone else, he had captured everything. Every word, every insult, every second. As Monica slowly picked up the picture of Ava from the wet pavement, she had no idea that someone had just recorded the moment that would eventually destroy Deputy Scott Mercer's entire career. Rainwater soaked Monica Reynolds' jeans as she slowly gathered the papers scattered across the pavement. The photograph of Ava had fallen face down into a puddle. Her insurance card was soaked. Medical receipts floated toward the curb. And yet nobody came to help, except the elderly woman kneeling beside her. "Take your time, sweetheart," the woman whispered. Monica forced a smile. "Thank you." Her voice trembled. Deputy Scott Mercer stood nearby with his arms folded, impatient, annoyed, as if the crying mother on the ground had somehow ruined his evening. "Are we done here?" he snapped. Several people stared at him. One nurse under the emergency entrance looked disgusted, but nobody wanted to argue with a deputy. Monica slowly stood. Pain shot through her knee. Still, she wasn't thinking about herself. Only Ava. She picked up the birthday photo and wiped the water away with her sleeve. "My baby needs me," she whispered. Mercer glanced at his watch. "You should have thought about that before causing trouble." Monica stared at him. "I didn't cause anything. My daughter couldn't breathe. I brought her here." Mercer laughed. "And somehow that's my fault?" The teenage boy who had recorded everything remained near the entrance. His name was Marcus Green, 20 years old, college student. He lowered his phone and looked around. Everyone had witnessed what happened. Yet most people simply walked away. Not because they didn't care, because they were afraid. Mercer noticed Marcus. "You filming me?" Marcus shrugged. "It's a public place." Mercer stepped toward him. "Delatait." Marcus shook his head. "No." Mercer's eyes narrowed. "Smart mouth." Before he could continue, another patrol car pulled into the emergency entrance. Officer Tyler Benson stepped out. Young, 28 years old, 2 years on the force. He approached Mercer. "Everything okay?" Mercer smirked. "Disorderly woman, interfering with county business." Tyler looked at Monica, rain-soaked, shaking, holding a picture of a little girl. This wasn't what disorderly people usually looked like. "What happened?" Tyler asked quietly. Mercer answered immediately. "She resisted. Almost assaulted me." Tyler frowned. "Assaulted you?" Mercer nodded. "Yeah. Typical story. Started screaming. Refused instructions." Monica looked shocked. "No, that's not true." Tyler glanced between them. Something felt wrong, but Mercer outranked him. And Mercer was known throughout the department. People avoided challenging him. Tyler lowered his voice. "Maybe we should just let her go check on her daughter." Mercer's face darkened instantly. "You questioning me?" "No, I'm just saying, you do your job." Tyler became silent. Monica felt her last bit of hope disappear. Even another officer wouldn't help. She looked toward the hospital entrance. Please let Ava be okay." Just then, her phone rang again. Charlotte Memorial. Monica answered immediately. "This is Monica." The voice sounded urgent. "Miss Reynolds? This is Dr. Singh." Her heart stopped. "Doctor, we need your consent for additional treatment." Monica straightened. "What happened?" "Ava's oxygen levels dropped again. We need you upstairs." Fear rushed through her body. "I'm coming." She turned toward Mercer. "My daughter is getting worse. I need to sign papers." Mercer shook his head. We aren't finished. Monica stared at him. My child may die. He shrugged. Then you should cooperate. Tears rolled down her face. What kind of person are you? Mercer's expression hardened. The kind that enforces the law. Nearby, a nurse had stopped walking. Angela Watkins, 43 years old, night shift supervisor. She froze the moment she saw Monica. At first, she couldn't believe it. Then memories flooded back. 3 years earlier, her son Ethan, 10 years old, bullied at school, severe anxiety, afraid to speak, afraid to leave his room. And one woman had helped him. Not a doctor, not a therapist. Monica Reynolds. At the childcare center, Monica had spent months encouraging Ethan, listening to him, teaching him confidence, helping him smile again. Angela would never forget it. And now that same woman stood crying in the rain, humiliated. Alone. Angela hurried toward them. Monica? Monica looked up. Their eyes met. Recognition flashed immediately. Angela? Oh my God. Angela rushed over and hugged her. What happened? Monica could barely speak. Ava, she's getting worse. And he won't let me go. Angela turned toward Mercer. Officer, her daughter needs emergency treatment. Mercer rolled his eyes. This is police business. Angela's expression changed. No, this is cruelty. Mercer's voice sharpened. Stay out of it. Angela crossed her arms. I know this woman. She helped my son when nobody else cared. She's not lying. Mercer smirked. Oh, so now she's Mother Teresa? Angela stepped closer. No, she's someone decent. Something you should try becoming. Tyler Benson almost smiled, but Mercer didn't. His face became cold. You want to interfere too? Angela wasn't afraid. Write me a ticket. Firme. I don't care. But that little girl upstairs needs her mother. Monica's eyes filled with tears again. Someone still believed her. Someone remembered her kindness. For the first time all night, she didn't feel completely alone. Then suddenly, the emergency doors burst open. Dr. Raj Singh rushed outside. Still wearing gloves. Still breathing heavily. He scanned the crowd. Miss Reynolds. Everyone turned. Monica's face turned pale. I'm here. The doctor's expression immediately worried Angela. Your daughter just suffered another respiratory collapse. We need your authorization right now. Monica froze. The world around her disappeared. Another collapse. Another emergency. And Deputy Mercer stepped directly in front of her. Nobody's going anywhere. Even Dr. Singh stared at him in disbelief. And standing nearby, Marcus Green quietly tightened his grip on his phone, because every second of this nightmare was still being recorded. Dr. Raj Singh couldn't believe what he was hearing. The emergency physician stood beneath the rain-soaked hospital entrance, still wearing his gloves. Deputy, I need her now, he said. Her daughter needs immediate authorization. Scott Mercer didn't move. She can wait. Dr. Singh stared at him. Wait. Her daughter almost stopped breathing. Mercer shrugged. Then do whatever doctors do. We need the mother. She's being detained. Angela Watkins stepped forward. Detained for what? Mercer glared at her, interfering. Dr. Singh shook his head in disbelief. This is insane. Tyler Benson shifted uncomfortably. Even he looked embarrassed. Monica stood frozen, her eyes wide. Ava collapsed? Dr. Singh nodded. Miss Reynolds, we need your signature immediately. Monica started walking. Mercer blocked her path. Not so fast. Something broke inside her. My child may die. Mercer pointed toward the curb. And I have unfinished business. Tears streamed down Monica's face. No, no, no. She tried to move around him. Scott Mercer grabbed her arm. You're not leaving. Let me go. People had stopped walking. The crowd was growing. Whispers spread. Phones came out. A nurse began crying. An elderly man shook his head. Nobody could understand what they were seeing. Angela stepped between them. Deputy, stop this. Mercer snapped. Back off. Dr. Singh raised his voice. I'm ordering her upstairs. You don't outrank medicine. Mercer stepped closer. I outrank her. Monica tried again. Ava needs me. Mercer's patience vanished. He grabbed both her wrists. That's enough. Click. The handcuffs closed. Gasps spread through the crowd. Angela covered her mouth. Tyler Benson froze. No, Monica whispered. No, no. Her voice cracked. She stared at the steel around her wrists. Then she broke. Me baby. Me baby. She began sobbing. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, like someone whose soul had finally become too tired. Angela burst into tears. Dr. Singh stared in disbelief. Are you out of your mind? Mercer ignored him. Monica's knees almost buckled. Please, please let me see her. Mercer's voice was ice cold. You should have cooperated. Marcus Green couldn't believe it. His phone was still recording. Everything. Every insult. Every second. He whispered to himself. This guy's done. Nearby, Larry Hernandez stood beside the tow truck. He had stopped working. Completely. No more, he muttered. Mercer noticed. Why'd you stop? Larry crossed his arms. I'm not towing that car. Mercer's face hardened. You don't decide. Larry looked straight into his eyes. No, my conscience does. Mercer's voice rose. You'll lose your contract. Larry shrugged. Then I lose it. But I ain't taking that woman's car. Several people nodded. Mercer looked furious. You all think you're heroes? Nobody answered. Then Monica suddenly dropped something. Hair phone. It slipped from her pocket and hit the wet pavement. She didn't even notice. Her mind was somewhere else. Upstairs. With Ava. The screen cracked. It slid beneath a nearby bench. Nobody saw it. Nobody, except a little boy. 8-year-old Caleb Turner. He had been sitting beside his grandmother all evening, waiting while his mother underwent surgery. Caleb slowly walked over. Grandma, I think someone dropped their phone. His grandmother nodded. Bring it here, honey. The boy picked it up carefully. The screen was cracked, but it still worked. Maybe we can give it back. Neither of them realized the camera was still running, and the microphone was still recording. Everything. Mercer's voice. His insults. His threats. Every word. Meanwhile, Monica sat handcuffed on the curb. Her eyes empty. Rain soaked her hair. Dr. Singh crouched beside her. I'll do everything I can. Monica nodded weakly. Tell her mommy's coming. Tell her not to be scared. Dr. Singh swallowed hard. I will. He hurried inside. Angela sat beside Monica, holding an umbrella above her. You're not alone, Monica whispered. I promised her. What if I break that promise? Angela squeezed her hand. You won't. But neither woman sounded convinced. Scott Mercer walked toward Tyler Benson. Call transport. Tyler blinked. Transport? We're taking her in. Tyler stared at him. For what? Mercer's eyes narrowed. Resisting. Tyler looked shocked. Sir, do it. Tyler hesitated. For several seconds. Long seconds. Then he quietly reached for his radio. His voice sounded uncertain. Dispatch. Before he could finish, Angela stood. You're arresting a mother whose child is dying? Mercer turned. Last warning. Angela wasn't afraid. Go ahead. Arrest me too. People began speaking up. One woman shouted, Shame on you. Another man yelled, Somebody call the news. Mercer's face turned red. He hated losing control. He pointed toward the crowd. Anybody else? Nobody moved. But nobody left either. They stayed. Watching. Recording. Witnessing. Marcus Green slowly approached Tyler Benson. Quietly. So you're really doing this? Tyler looked miserable. No. I'm following orders. Marcus shook his head. No. You're choosing orders. The words hit Tyler harder than he expected. And suddenly, his radio crackled. Dispatch. Unit 12. Confirm transport request. Tyler looked at Monica, crying, handcuffed, broken. Then, he looked at Mercer, standing proud, certain, arrogant. Something inside Tyler no longer felt right. But before he could answer dispatch, 2 black SUVs turned into the hospital entrance. Nobody paid much attention. Not yet. Inside one of the vehicles, Two people were checking a photograph of Monica Reynolds. And one of them said quietly, "She's here." Back under the bench, little Caleb Turner smiled. "We found her phone, Grandma." The old woman nodded. But as she held the device, she suddenly heard voices coming from the speaker. Mercer's voice, clear as day, and her eyes slowly widened, because the phone had recorded everything. Everything. Monica Reynolds sat beneath the hospital entrance canopy, her wrists locked in steel handcuffs. Rainwater dripped from the edge of the roof. People whispered. Some cried. Others recorded quietly. But Monica barely noticed. Her mind was upstairs, with Ava, with her little girl. Angela Watkins held the umbrella over her. "She's strong," Angela whispered. "Just like her mother." Monica nodded weakly. "I promised her I'd always be there." Angela squeezed her shoulder. "And you will." But Monica's eyes drifted into the distance. Not to the hospital. Not to Deputy Mercer. Not even to the crowd. She was remembering another night. 4 years earlier. Another rainy night. Another accident. Another moment that had changed her life forever. Back then, Monica worked evening shifts at the childcare center. Money was tight. Ava was 5 years old. Life was simple. Until one evening, she stopped at a gas station outside Charlotte. She remembered standing beside pump number 3, holding a gallon of milk, thinking about what to cook for dinner. Then she noticed something strange. 2 expensive SUVs, 4 nervous men, large black bags, and a younger man arguing loudly. Monica didn't know any of them. She didn't want trouble, but she heard something that made her stop. 30 kilos. No mistakes this time. Another man answered. "The pills move tomorrow." Monica frowned. "Pills?" She glanced toward them. At that exact moment, one of the men slammed another against the vehicle. Something fell. Hundreds of white tablets spilled onto the pavement. The men cursed. Monica quickly turned away. But before she entered her car, instinct took over. She pulled out her phone, not to film, only to take a picture of the license plate. She had no idea why. Something simply felt wrong. 2 days later, the news exploded. A major fentanyl overdose had killed 3 teenagers. Federal authorities launched an investigation. Monica froze when she saw surveillance images from that same gas station. The same vehicles. The same men. She sat awake all night, terrified. Should she say something? Or stay silent? Then she looked at sleeping little Ava, and she made a decision. The next morning, she called a federal tip line. 3 days later, they came. Not local police. Not county deputies. FBI. Agent Daniel Foster. And Special Agent Lisa Grant. She still remembered Daniel's calm voice. "Miss Reynolds, you're very brave. We need to ask a few questions." She remembered being frightened. "I don't want trouble." Daniel smiled. "We don't want trouble either. We want justice." Weeks turned into months. Months into years. The picture Monica had taken became one piece of a much larger investigation. Drug trafficking, money laundering, corrupt officials, millions of dollars. Several witnesses disappeared. One informant was murdered. And slowly, Monica realized she had become much more than a woman who had taken a photograph. She had become a witness. A protected witness. Not officially relocated. Not hidden away. But known only to a handful of agents. Because one day, she might testify. One day she might help bring down people nobody suspected, including people wearing badges. Daniel Foster had warned her, "If anyone ever contacts you unexpectedly, call me." Not local police. Me. Monica remembered laughing nervously. "You're making me sound important." Daniel smiled. "You are important. The truth usually is." Back in the present, Monica closed her eyes. She hadn't thought about that conversation in months. Light, work, bills, soccer practice, school projects, parent meetings. She had almost forgotten. Almost. Meanwhile, 30 feet away, Scott Mercer stepped aside and answered his phone. His voice became low. "Yeah?" Silence. Then his expression changed. "What?" His eyes narrowed. "No, that's impossible." He turned away from the crowd. What do you mean she's there? Another pause. Mercer's face slowly lost color. Who told you that? Silence. Then anger. Listen, don't tell me what to do. I know how to handle this. He hung up, but his hands no longer looked steady. Tyler Benson noticed immediately. You okay, sir? Mercer snapped. I'm fine. But he wasn't. For the first time that night, Scott Mercer looked nervous. Very nervous. His eyes shifted toward Monica. Something wasn't right. He had heard that name before. Monica Reynolds. Somewhere. Long ago. And suddenly, something surfaced in his memory. Years earlier, during a conversation, one of his friends had mentioned a federal witness. Nothing specific. Just a warning. Stay away from a woman named Reynolds. Federal people protect her. Mercer had laughed at the time. Now his heartbeat increased. No. Impossible. It couldn't be. Could it? Nearby, Caleb Turner's grandmother held Monica's phone. The screen was cracked, but voices kept playing. Mercer's voice. Clear. Cruel. Threatening. The elderly woman looked shocked. My lord. Caleb blinked. Grandma? She lowered her voice. This phone belongs to that poor woman, and it's recorded everything. Meanwhile, Marcus Green continued filming from a distance. He noticed Mercer's strange behavior. The deputy had stopped smiling, stopped acting arrogant. Something had changed. Something had frightened him. Angela noticed too. Officer Benson, she whispered. Why does he suddenly look scared? Tyler quietly shook his head. I don't know, but neither of them knew that tomorrow morning, a sealed federal hearing was scheduled, a hearing that only a few people in North Carolina even knew about. And Monica Reynolds was supposed to be there. As the rain finally began to slow, Scott Mercer looked at Monica again. His eyes no longer showed annoyance. Now they showed something else. Fear. Real fear. And for the first time all night, he quietly reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone, and made a call nobody around him was supposed to hear. Scott Mercer lowered his voice as he stepped away from the crowd. Rain had almost stopped, but something far colder had begun inside him. Fear. Real fear. He pressed the phone tightly against his ear. Tell me exactly what you heard. Silence. Then a voice answered. Mercer's face became pale. No, that can't be her. He glanced toward Monica Reynolds, handcuffed, broken, sitting beneath Angela's umbrella, looking like an ordinary woman. A tired, black, single mother. Nothing more. Yet somehow, the name Monica Reynolds had started ringing alarms inside his mind. Another voice came through the phone. If it's really her, don't touch anything. Mercer clenched his jaw. I already touched something. What? He swallowed. A lot. The man on the other end cursed. Then the line went dead. Scott stared at the screen. For the first time in years, he felt something he hated. Panic. Back near the entrance, Monica remained silent. She hadn't stopped staring at the emergency doors. Every few seconds, she whispered, Hold on, baby. Mommy's coming. Angela sat beside her. Tyler Benson stood nearby, saying nothing. And Dr. Raj Singh paced back and forth inside the emergency room. Meanwhile, Mercer returned. But he wasn't smiling anymore. His eyes immediately searched for one thing. Monica's phone. He walked toward her. Where's your phone? Monica looked confused. What? Your phone. I don't know. Mercer bent down. Where is it? Monica shook her head. It fell. I don't know. Mercer's voice became sharper. Find it. Angela frowned. What difference does that make? Mercer ignored her. He scanned the ground. The benches. The puddles. Nothing. Marcus Green noticed everything. And something about the deputy's behavior suddenly felt strange. 5 minutes ago, he had been arrogant. Now he looked desperate. Tyler Benson noticed too. Sir? Mercer snapped. Shut up. Then he called Larry Hernandez over. Did you see a phone? Larry crossed his arms. No. Mercer stepped closer. Think harder. Larry looked straight into his eyes. I said no. Mercer cursed under his breath. Something wasn't right. He could feel it. Then his radio crackled. Dispatch. Unit 12? Mercer answered immediately. Go. Need status. He glanced around. Situation under control. But his voice didn't sound convincing. Nearby, Caleb Turner's grandmother had already placed Monica's phone inside her purse. Not to hide it, simply to keep it safe. She planned to return it. But first she wanted to find a charger, because the battery was almost dead. Meanwhile, Mercer walked toward Officer Tyler Benson. Listen carefully. Tyler nodded. We're transporting her. Tyler frowned. Transporting her where? The station. Tyler blinked. Tonight? Now. Tyler looked shocked. Sir, her daughter's inside. I don't care. Tyler lowered his voice. What exactly are we charging her with? Mercer's answer came immediately. Resisting. Tyler stared. She never resisted. Mercer's eyes narrowed. You questioning me again? Tyler hesitated. No, sir. But Mercer wasn't finished. You'll write the report. Tyler froze. The report? Mercer nodded. You saw her pull away. No. Tyler shook his head. I didn't. Mercer stepped closer. You do now. Tyler's face changed. No. Mercer's voice turned cold. Excuse me? I said no. The words hung in the air. Mercer's eyes darkened. You want your career over? Tyler swallowed. But something had changed inside him too. No, sir. I want the truth. Mercer's face became red. He leaned closer. Truth doesn't pay pensions. Tyler looked at Monica, then back at Mercer. No. But lies destroy people. Mercer stared, then laughed quietly. You're young. You'll learn. Tyler shook his head. Maybe, but not tonight. Mercer walked away, angrier than ever, and more afraid, because things were slipping. Witnesses, phones, doctors. Now Tyler. Too many eyes, too many people. Then another idea entered his mind. He walked over to Marcus Green. The college student still held his phone. Mercer smiled. Fake. Friendly. So, can I see that? Marcus shook his head. No. Mercer's smile vanished. You recording? It's legal. Not if I say it isn't. Marcus laughed. My uncle's a lawyer. Mercer moved closer. Deletate. No. Mercer reached toward the phone. Marcus stepped back. Touch me, and everyone here sees it. Several people looked over immediately. Mercer stopped. His hands trembled. He forced another smile. New problem. But inside, he was furious. He walked away again. And suddenly he made a decision. A terrible decision. He grabbed Monica's arm. Get up. Monica blinked. What? You're coming with me. Angela stood immediately. No. Dr. Singh rushed outside. You can't. Mercer ignored them. Tyler Benson stepped forward. Sir, don't do this. Mercer pointed. Stay out of it. Monica burst into tears. My daughter. Move. He started pulling her toward the patrol car. People shouted. Leave her alone. What's wrong with you? Angela cried. Scott, stop. But Mercer wasn't listening anymore. Fear had replaced reason. He only wanted one thing. Control. And if taking Monica to the station kept everything quiet, he would do it. Then suddenly headlights appeared. 2 black SUVs entered the emergency lane. Fast. Very fast. Both vehicles stopped hard. Everyone turned. The doors opened. 4 people stepped out. Dark suits. Federal badges. And one man held a photograph. He looked around, then froze. His eyes locked onto Monica Reynolds. Handcuffed. Being dragged toward the patrol car. Agent Daniel Foster's face changed instantly. Beside him, Special Agent Lisa Grant stopped walking. Neither of them said a word at first, but Scott Mercer felt his stomach drop, because both agents were staring directly at him, and they looked furious. The entire emergency entrance became silent. Rain had stopped, but nobody moved. Not Angela Watkins, not Dr. Raj Singh, not Tyler Benson, not even the people recording with their phones. Everyone watched the 2 black SUVs. Scott Mercer still had one hand on Monica Reynolds' arm, and then he saw the badges. Federal Bureau of Investigation. His heartbeat stopped. Agent Daniel Foster walked quickly toward them. Special Agent Lisa Grant followed beside him. 2 additional agents remained near the vehicles. Daniel's eyes never left Monica. He looked shocked, then angry, very angry. Miss Monica Reynolds? Monica slowly turned. Her face was pale. Wet hair covered her cheeks. Tears filled her eyes. She blinked and immediately recognized him. Agent Foster? Daniel stopped. For a moment, he couldn't speak, because the woman standing before him wasn't the calm, kind witness he had known for years. She was handcuffed, bruised, broken, and terrified. His expression changed instantly. Who did this? Nobody answered. Lisa Grant stepped beside Monica. Oh my God, what happened? Monica looked confused. My daughter, Ava. She's upstairs. Daniel looked down. Steel handcuffs. He slowly raised his head, and his eyes locked onto Scott Mercer. Deputy, what exactly are you doing? Mercer swallowed. Police business. Daniel stared at him. No, it isn't. Lisa immediately moved toward Monica. I'm taking care of this. She gently held Monica's shoulders. Miss Reynolds, look at me. We've got you. Monica burst into tears. My baby. They won't let me see my daughter. Lisa's eyes widened. What? Dr. Singh stepped forward. Her daughter suffered another respiratory collapse. I need the mother's signature. Daniel slowly turned toward Mercer again. His voice had become ice cold. Take those handcuffs off. Mercer blinked. Excuse me? I said take them off. Mercer tried to stay calm. She's resisting. Tyler Benson suddenly spoke. No, sir. Everyone turned. Mercer's eyes widened. Tyler swallowed, then looked directly at Daniel Foster. She never resisted. Silence. Angela Watkins stepped forward. He pushed her. Larry Hernandez joined. He threatened everybody. Marcus Green raised his phone. I recorded most of it. Mercer's face lost color. Daniel looked back at him. Deputy, take the cuffs off. Mercer hesitated. Agent, with all due respect, Daniel took one step forward, and his voice thundered through the entrance. I said now. Even the crowd jumped. Mercer's hands shook. Slowly, he reached for the key. Click. The handcuffs opened. Monica immediately broke down. Lisa caught her before she fell. It's okay. We've got you. Dr. Singh stepped closer. Miss Reynolds, please. We need you upstairs. Monica nodded weakly, but Daniel stopped her gently. First, are you hurt? Monica looked at him. My daughter. Nothing else matters. Daniel closed his eyes for a moment, then nodded. Go. Lisa smiled softly. I'll walk with you. They headed toward the emergency room. Angela followed. Dr. Singh rushed beside them, and Monica disappeared through the doors. Meanwhile, outside, Daniel Foster remained where he stood, and he was no longer calm. He turned back toward Scott Mercer. Name? Mercer blinked. Deputy Scott Mercer. Daniel's face changed. Very slightly, but Tyler Benson noticed it. Daniel knew that name. He absolutely knew it. Scott Mercer? Mercer nodded. Yes. Daniel looked at Lisa through the glass doors, then back at Mercer. Interesting. Mercer forced a smile. I'm sure this is all just a misunderstanding. Daniel slowly removed his glasses. No, I don't think it is. Tyler Benson frowned. What does that mean? Daniel ignored the question. Instead, he reached into his jacket and removed his phone. He pressed one number. Director Hayes. It's Daniel. Yeah, we found Miss Reynolds. He paused. Then his eyes remained fixed on Scott Mercer. And you're not going to believe who's standing here. Mercer's stomach twisted. Daniel listened, then answered quietly. Yes, that's Scott Mercer. The blood drained from the deputy's face. No, impossible. Daniel ended the call. Mercer forced a nervous laugh. I don't know what this is, but I haven't done anything. Daniel walked closer, close enough that only Mercer could hear him. Then he whispered, You really don't recognize me, do you? Mercer frowned. Daniel removed his glasses completely, and suddenly, Scott remembered. 4 years ago, Federal Task Force. Briefing room. Dozens of names. One warning. Stay away from the witness. Stay away from Monica Reynolds. And Daniel Foster had been there. Mercer's breathing became uneven. No. Daniel nodded. Oh, yes. You remember now, Mercer whispered. This can't be happening. Daniel looked straight into his eyes. You know what? That's exactly what I thought when I saw her in handcuffs. Then he took a step back and asked the question that made every drop of blood leave Scott Mercer's body. Scott, you honestly thought we didn't know about you? Mercer's mouth opened. No words came out. Tyler Benson froze. Angela froze. Larry froze. Even Marcus lowered his phone. Nobody understood. Nobody except Daniel Foster. And standing inside the emergency room, Special Agent Lisa Grant suddenly stopped walking because she had just received a message. One sentence. One sentence that made her eyes widen. The message read, "Confirmed. Scott Mercer is on the list." Scott Mercer couldn't breathe. His legs suddenly felt weak. Confirmed. Scott Mercer is on the list. He didn't see the message, but he saw Lisa Grant's expression. And he knew exactly what that look meant. Daniel Foster slowly placed his glasses back on. For years, he had imagined this moment, but never like this. Never standing outside a hospital. Never with Monica Reynolds crying inside because her daughter was fighting for her life. And never while one of their own targets stood right in front of him. Scott forced a laugh. This is ridiculous. Daniel didn't smile. No. What's ridiculous is finding Miss Reynolds in handcuffs. Scott swallowed. I don't know what you think. Daniel cut him off. I know exactly what I think. He reached into his jacket, pulled out his badge. Then another card. Federal Task Force. Narcotics Division. Scott's face became pale. Daniel's voice remained calm. You remember Operation Shadowgate? Scott didn't answer. You should. You've been part of it longer than you know. Tyler Benson frowned. Operation what? Daniel looked toward him. 5 years. Drug trafficking, money laundering, corrupt officials, and several names protected from public release. Angela covered her mouth. Larry Hernandez stared. Marcus Green lowered his phone. Daniel turned back to Scott. And tonight, congratulations. You've just volunteered yourself. Scott snapped. This is insane. You have nothing. Daniel smiled. A cold smile. Nothing? At that moment, Special Agent Lisa Grant came back through the emergency doors. She held her phone. We have something. She looked directly at Scott. Actually, we have several things. Scott froze. Lisa nodded toward Marcus Green. The video. Then, toward Tyler Benson. The witness. Toward Larry Hernandez. The tow order. Toward Angela. The assault. Then she smiled. And that's before we get to Monica's phone. Scott's eyes widened. What phone? Daniel saw it immediately. Fear. Real fear. Interesting question. How did you know there was a phone? Scott's mouth opened. No answer came. Daniel stepped closer. You were looking for it. Why? Scott shook his head. No. Daniel's expression changed. Oh yes. Because you know exactly what was recorded. Behind them, an elderly woman slowly approached. Caleb Turner's grandmother. Excuse me. Everyone turned. She held up Monica's cracked phone. Is this important? Daniel and Lisa looked at each other. Lisa smiled. Very. The old woman nodded. It never stopped recording. Scott closed his eyes. No. 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 Daniel carefully accepted the phone. Then handed it to another agent. Evidence. Scott exploded. You can't do this. Daniel started. Can't do what? Collect evidence? Scott stepped backward. I need my lawyer. Daniel nodded. Good idea. You'll need one. Then his radio crackled. Another voice. Agent Foster. Go ahead. The warrants are approved. Daniel looked up. All of them? All of them. Scott stopped breathing. No. Not all. Impossible. Daniel's voice became quiet. Thank you. He put the radio away. Then looked directly at Scott. You really thought nobody noticed? The missing money. The calls. The reports. The names. We were waiting. Scott whispered. Waiting? Daniel nodded. For one mistake. And tonight, you made several. 2 additional FBI agents stepped forward. One held handcuffs. Scott stared. No. No. You can't arrest me. I'm law enforcement. Daniel's eyes hardened. So were they. He handed over a list. 23 names. Officers, clerks, informants. 3 already arrested. 7 under investigation. And Scott Mercer. Number 4. The deputy's hands trembled. Tyler Benson looked shocked. Dear God. Daniel nodded. Corruption doesn't care about uniforms. Scott tried one final time. This woman means nothing. The sentence had barely left his mouth. Daniel exploded. Nothing? His voice thundered. Monica Reynolds buried her husband, raised her daughter alone, worked every day, and risked her life helping us. She protected strangers, and tonight she sat in handcuffs while her daughter almost died. Daniel stepped closer. So don't ever say she means nothing. Silence. Pure silence. Then click. Steel closed around Scott Mercer's wrists. The same sound Monica had heard. Scott looked down. Handcuffs. His own hands. His own shame. The crowd watched quietly. Nobody cheered. Nobody laughed. Tyler Benson lowered his head. Angela wiped away tears. Larry crossed himself. Marcus Green whispered, Justice. Then, Dr. Singh burst through the doors again. Everyone froze. Monica stood behind him. Her eyes were swollen, but she was smiling. Weakly. Very weakly. Daniel's face changed instantly. Miss Reynolds? Monica nodded. Ava stable. Angela burst into tears. Oh, thank God. Monica hugged her. Then she noticed Scott Mercer, handcuffed, surrounded by FBI agents. For several seconds, she simply stared. Scott lowered his eyes, unable to look at her. Daniel walked toward Monica. You should be upstairs. She smiled softly. I know. Then she looked at Daniel. Thank you. Daniel shook his head. No, thank you. Before Monica turned back toward the hospital, she looked once more at the man who had humiliated her, and quietly said, I prayed for my daughter. I never prayed against you, because God sees everything. Scott Mercer lowered his head, unable to answer. 6 months later, the federal courthouse in Charlotte would be filled with cameras. 23 defendants, dozens of witnesses, and one woman, Monica Reynolds, the woman everyone underestimated, the woman whose truth refused to die. 6 months later, the federal courthouse in Charlotte overflowed with people. News vans lined the streets. Reporters crowded the sidewalks. Television crews stood outside from sunrise. People came for different reasons. Some wanted to see the corruption case. Others wanted to hear about Operation Shadowgate. But most people came because of one woman, Monica Reynolds, the black single mother who had nearly lost everything. Courtroom 7 was full. Federal agents, doctors, police officers, families, journalists, and dozens of citizens whose lives had been damaged by corruption. At exactly 9 o'clock, Judge Eleanor Matthews entered. Everyone stood. Scott Mercer sat quietly. Gray prison uniform. No badge. No weapon. No authority. His hair had turned whiter. His face looked older. Very old. Beside him sat 6 former officers. Across the room, Monica Reynolds wore a simple navy blue dress. Nothing expensive. Nothing flashy. Angela Watkins sat beside her. Dr. Raj Singh sat in the second row. Larry Hernandez sat with his wife. Tyler Benson wore his dress uniform. And Marcus Green sat beside his parents. Even little Caleb Turner and his grandmother had been invited. Agent Daniel Foster and Lisa Grant sat behind Monica. They looked proud, not because they had won, but because the truth had survived. Judge Matthews adjusted her glasses. For conspiracy, obstruction of justice, abuse of authority, witness intimidation, corruption, and cooperation with drug trafficking organizations. The courtroom became silent. I sentenced Scott Mercer to 38 years in federal prison. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Scott closed his eyes. His shoulders lowered. The once arrogant deputy looked broken. Judge Matthews continued. Former Sergeant William Parker, 24 years. Deputy Leonard Mills, 21 years. One by one, the sentences came. 23 defendants. 23 convictions. Millions of dollars seized. Entire departments reorganized. And finally, Judge Matthews looked toward Monica. Miss Reynolds. The courtroom turned. The judge smiled warmly. Your courage saved lives. Monica lowered her eyes. I'm just a mother. Judge Matthews nodded. And that is exactly why courage matters. The entire courtroom stood. Applause filled the room. Monica covered her mouth. Tears filled her eyes. Daniel Foster quietly whispered, You earned that. Outside the courthouse, reporters surrounded her. Cameras flashed. Microphones appeared everywhere. One reporter asked, What gave you the strength to keep fighting? Monica smiled softly. My daughter. Another asked, Do you hate Scott Mercer? Monica shook her head. No. Hate only creates more pain. I wanted justice. And justice belongs to everyone. A week later, Monica returned to ordinary life. Ava had fully recovered. Her laughter once again filled their apartment. And somehow, life felt peaceful. One Saturday morning, Ava sat at the kitchen table working on homework. Mom? Monica looked up. Yes, baby? When I grow up, I still want to be a doctor. Monica smiled. You still remember? Ava nodded proudly. And I want to help scared people. Tears appeared in Monica's eyes. Then you'll be the best doctor in the world. Ava hugged her. I learned it from you. Months passed. Monica received several offers. Interviews, television appearances, book deals, money, fame. She declined almost all of them. Instead, she started something else. The Ava Hope Foundation, a small organization helping struggling single mothers, medical assistance, emergency transportation, food support, legal guidance. Angela Watkins volunteered immediately. Dr. Raj Singh organized free health clinics. Larry Hernandez donated his towing company's profits one weekend every month. Tyler Benson became one of the program's biggest supporters. And Marcus Green received a journalism scholarship after his video helped expose corruption. Little Caleb Turner was awarded a college trust fund established by anonymous donors. His grandmother cried when she heard the news. One afternoon, Daniel Foster visited the foundation. Children laughed in the playroom. Mothers sat drinking coffee. Volunteers smiled. Daniel stood quietly. Then he saw Monica helping another young mother fill out paperwork. He smiled. Miss Reynolds. Monica laughed. You know you can call me Monica. Daniel nodded. Old habits. They walked outside. Children played beneath the sun. Daniel looked around. You know, when we first met, I thought we were protecting you. Monica smiled. And? Daniel chuckled. Turns out, you protected a lot of people. Monica looked toward Ava playing with friends. No, we protected each other. Daniel nodded. Maybe she was right. Months later, another rainy evening arrived. Monica stood by the window, watching the rain, just like that terrible night. Ava walked beside her. Mom? Yeah? Were you scared? Patience. Monica smiled softly. Very. Then why didn't you give up? Monica kissed her daughter's forehead. Because love is stronger than fear. Ava smiled. And outside, the rain slowly stopped, just like the storm that had once nearly destroyed their lives. But not their faith, not their dignity, and not the truth. Because truth may take time, but it always finds its way home. Kết thúc phần 10. Nội dung đã hoàn thành theo đúng dàn ý đã chốt. Life has a way of testing people when they are at their weakest. But dignity, courage, and kindness often become stronger than fear. If Monica's story touched your heart, share your thoughts below and tell us where you're watching from. And if you believe truth and compassion still matter, don't forget to subscribe and join us for more stories.